Hey guys, it is Duke, and welcome back to an episode of Afterlife SMP. How are you guys doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic, because today's episode is going to be very special. I'm really hyped for today, because episode 50 is upon us, and that means it is time to do the world tour of Afterlife Season 2. We're really not that far into the season, but I've been able to produce 50 episodes so far, and I hope to continue this, so I decided, you know what? Let's do a world tour, guys. I've been looking forward to this for quite some time now, and we can finally do a world tour on Afterlife. So, if you're new to the channel or the series, there's a lot about Afterlife that you probably don't know. It's a very great server, and hopefully in this world tour I can show you that. But where I am right now is where it all started. So, if you guys are new, you don't remember this, but in episode 1, we all sat around this sort of pond here. It was very small. I think Hachi's actually made it a little bit bigger. But yeah, this is where Jay brought us in, greeted us, and I believe the 6 or 7 of us, it was me, Jay, White, Dragon Frost, Night Fox, Blonde Skunk, and Zyroverse all started out Season 2 right here, right around this pond. And it's been great. Ever since then, Hachi has come along on the server and turned this into his backyard. But, well, now let's get into the build. So, you guys see that was in Hachi's backyard. This is Mr. Hachi's spawn house, accurately named Hachi's Humble Home. It's amazing. I love it. It was actually one of the first spawn houses on Afterlife Season 2, and it really was a nice sort of thing, because this entire area was very barren at one point. There was like nothing around here, and then all of a sudden Hachi comes along and plops down his nice little house right here, and I think it looks really good, and hope you guys do as well. Very simple. He uses the same design in a lot of his builds, but I think for the most part he really did well on it. Very simple, nice interior, nothing too crazy over the top, but it was a nice little bit for him to start out this series, start out the world, and that is why it's accurately named Hachi's Humble Home. So moving on, we're going to continue in the residential district for the time being, and right on over to the map wall. So the map wall is one of my most recent projects. I built this, I think episode 40 maybe, in which I went ahead and documented every sort of area around spawn, and there was actually a little wall here, so I can't say I did it all myself, but I did create this massive structure around it. I got pretty good feedback, so I think everybody liked it, and I think it's a good overall sort of look about of the server, because if you're new to the server, you don't know where anything is, this is a really nice way to get yourself oriented. Moving on is the next sort of residential home we see here, and that is Dragon Frost. Now, he also said this is humble, but I don't know. I mean, it's very much so a lovely little pagoda build, and I really like it. I think it's cool. It's very simple, not much to it, but I think he did a splendid job. Very small, tight interior, but you know, for the start of the server, it was all he needed, and I think it looks pretty darn cool. So, moving on. All right, it is nighttime already. I picked a horrible time to start this, but hopefully we can get to bed in very soon time. So let's head on over to Daniel's house before we go anywhere else. Daniel has been with our server for quite some time now. He was not a part of the introduction. He joined the server soon after. Daniel Ludus, his YouTube is in the description below. Great guy, love what he's doing. He's got like this sort of modern house, and I really like what he did here. He incorporated the birch wood, but also using the dark oak. That's not something I've seen before. I really don't see stuff like that in Minecraft, and it's very different for the fact that it's just a giant, sort of big old modern house, and it's not something we have. It's a very open design, a very open floor plan. But I think it was nice, you know, very simple. All it really has is a bed, and then down there he has his storage, but in here, nice and open. Really like how that turned out. So, if you noticed, each house has a mailbox, and it's actually named a mailbox. Actually, I gave this to Daniel last episode, but each mailbox was given around by Dragon Frost early on in the season. in which she built the post office, which we will get to later, as that is in the commercial district. But we are walking through the park, and you probably have noticed just how great of an area this is. This area was built by me, Night Fox, and Dragonfrost a few months back, actually. It's been a while now. And it was overhauled for the Halloween event, but now it's back to normal, and it actually looks really, really good. I think you can sort of understand that you're in some sort of park here, and it does surround the Afterlife Lake in the middle with the giant island on top, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So moving on over, we used to have a vine farm right here, and I moved it down one day because I didn't like it. I mean, it's a good thing to have, but it was just sort of sitting here, and it wasn't good. So this area right here will still get terraformed and landscaped eventually, but it's really just sort of an open area in case anyone wants to build in the future. So then we have our residential lighting, and our residential lighting was done by Blonde Skunk, Night Fox, Whitefire, and I a few weeks back. Actually, it really wasn't that long ago, but they definitely help improve the look of this area and help get rid of some torches. They're not completely done yet, and man, they are sheep, but they will definitely be done soon, so really awesome to see that. The monument. So this is Boom Bang Crash. I always screw up his name. Boom Bang Crash's monument, and this was sort of like his spawn house, but in a way, it isn't. Here rose the spirit of Boom Bang Crash. So this is the Afterlife server, and I think this was sort of a play on, just sort of the word of Afterlife. Not really a play on words, but more a role play to go along with the fact that we're in the Afterlife now. Really, really liked how this thing turned out. I think it is one of the nicest sort of builds. Very, very tall but thin. It allowed for a perfect sort of area for what he was going with. I think the monument is exactly what he envisioned, so that's awesome. Moving on, the first ABBA victory. This is appropriate, like next to Crash's spawn house sort deal there, because this actually just happened a few days back, but it was his first ever ABBA victory, as it was his first ever ABBA game he played. He beat White and Daniel Ludus, so he made it himself a little monument for that. I think it's pretty cool. Nice to see there. Next, we have Night Fox's house. Night Fox went ultra modern with this, and I really like it. I think he did a fantastic job, and it really does not get enough credit as it deserves. It very nice, and not a lot of people use the stained bricks, so it's different, but definitely something I've seen before in Minecraft builds. Either way, really like how it turned out. His interior has really come together lately. For a while, it was just sort of empty here, but he's added a nice little living room, a nice little kitchen. His upstairs, I believe, is unfurnished as of yet. Yes, indeed it is. But he's got many other projects, so I'm sure that's not weighing him down right now. If we come out in the back, we can see what he's done. I don't believe... that needs fixed. But I don't believe this was too long ago when he did this. He built a little sort of patio area out in the back. Somewhat of a gazebo and a pool, a little fireplace. I really like how it looks, and I think the sandstone really sticks out, which is a good thing for this build because, it just looked good, man. I don't know how else to describe it. So moving on to the left, we're coming up across some of the biggest builds on the server, and I hope you guys are interested in that. So next up, we come to the Afterlife tennis courts. I built this episode 20, I believe. Of my series, maybe episode 19, one of the two. It doesn't really serve a purpose. It just sort of sits here and looks nice. So, yeah, I don't know. I just felt the need to build a tennis court, and I did. I plan on incorporating some more sports arena and like fields into Afterlife eventually. But the tennis court is what I went with first because I thought it was simple, and I really like how it turned out in the end. So that's really cool. Next is Duke Flats, and can we just take a moment? That was a humble brag, was not. That was pretty much just bragging. But yes, Duke Flats, the E was hidden by the sign there. But Duke Flats, indeed. I have been working on this since episode 6, and the end is nowhere in sight. This build has taken me so long, and as you can see how tall they are, it's just the reason. So you're going to be able to come on in here and rent a room. That's pretty awesome. You're going to be able to pick whatever room you want in any tower you want, and we're not even done with the biggest one yet. There's actually going to be a bigger tower in the back there eventually, but you can just see how tall these things are. I did not slow down. I made sure these were skyscrapers, and I really think I did accomplish what I wanted to with a nice little area here. As I said, not complete yet. Still got a lot of work there to go, but I'm really hyped to get this done. Alright, so next up is Afterland, a project started by Berlin River a few months ago, and it really has not gotten a lot of work because he's sort of waiting for other people to come on and put in some rides. But Afterland is an amusement park, and it is actually really, really cool. I really like what he did with the entrance here. A very nice big archway along with some really cool ticket booths. And I really can't get in, so we're going to have to jump on over right here. But he's going to have this nice sort of like dock area. Not really a dock, but just sort of like a lake river walk sort deal. And it's going to be cool because all of these areas are going to be some sort... Oh, jeez. Oh, I got that guy. Some sort of ride or restaurant. Oh, I killed him. Or some sort of restaurant or ride or something like that. So that's awesome. Right here is... Yeah, I guess Blonskunk built this. This was our Halloween area where we came in and talked about our skin. This is where our skin competition was. Really cool area. Really liked what Blonskunk did with the place. And the Afterland amusement park will definitely get some use from Mr. Dukester Games in the near future. I've just been so caught up with other projects that I haven't been able to work on it yet. But that does not mean that I'm avoiding it. It just means, you know, I've been doing other stuff. Like, you know, it's sort of a necessity for me to get other things done. Alright, so next up is Blonskunk's soon-to-be spawn house. He actually has a little mountain house up there in the background, but this is where his new spawn's house is going to be, because originally he had that, and he realized he was so far from spawn, he wanted something closer. So, you're noticing some signs that say Zyroverse on them, and I did talk about Zyro very early in the video. He was our only member to actually leave Season 2. He left because he wanted to pursue a different type of YouTube channel, and Minecraft just didn't align with it, so he's gone. But Blonskunk has sort of brought back Zyro by building in the same exact spot he did. Hopefully his build turns out great in honor of Mr. Zyro himself. So, Dukester, that is me. This is my spawn house. And I think it's the biggest spawn house by far. I did all this landscaping myself. Really like how that turned out. And I'm actually very, very proud of it. So, hopefully you guys will like this. I'm actually going to have to turn down my render distance because my computer is, for some reason, wanting to die. So, if we go on upstairs, we come on in, and I have many rooms of this house. So, I'm not really going to show you all of it. And that's my dog, Duke. This is our sort of kitchen. We got it like a dining room up there. This is a dining room. That's like our playroom. So, I don't know what it is. Bedrooms are up there. We come downstairs. We got my nice big open basement, partially designed by Blonskunk because, well, I needed light and I didn't want to do it. And our amazing backyard. I really like how this turned out. I feel like it's a very, very atmospheric area, and it sort of reminds me of the park. I don't know. You probably agree with me. I mean, it's very similar, but, you know, unique in its own way so that it does separate itself from the park. Alright, so next up is Gaming Because's house. He is a new Afterlife Season 2 member. I guess you really wouldn't call him new, though. He was a part of Season 1, did leave, and then came back after he realized this server was too good not to be a part of. So, yeah, nice little house here. Very quaint, very small, actually. I think it's the smallest house, but I like it for that. Oh, I mean, I guess the pagoda and maybe Hutchies, but it's small, very quaint. I like it, very simple. I think he did a good job. So, next up is Whitefire's house. The sort of two-tower sort deal going on. White's wondrous home. I like it. He wasn't really sure about it at first. I remember him saying that he liked how it turned out, but he wasn't sure how other people would take it. Either way, I feel like he did a really nice job with it. And, you know, it was I think it was the first spawn house built, so that was really cool to see pop up. Next on over is Mr. All Out J's spawn house. Saw some chests outside because this was just built recently. I think it looks really cool. Very similar style, maybe to somewhat of mine and what Blonde Skunk's gonna be. But he definitely put his own twist on it and made it his own, and I really, really like what he did. The interior, I believe, is still being worked on at this moment, but he's a fantastic builder, as we see. And now it is time to head on over to the commercial district. Alright, so the commercial district is definitely a special area. It comes along with a different type of pathway and a different kinds of light. That is actually supposed to be dark oak fence. I don't know why it's not, but it brings you into entirely different builds. I mean, there are a lot of crazy builds. You can even see one sort of looming over us. I have had to turn my not my brightness, but my render distance down to 8 because my computer is taking a dump right now, and I really can't record with anything else. So, first of all, this is Zyrovaults, and that used to be one of those elevators, the translocation piston elevators, until 1.11 broke it. So we have a ladder, but we will fix that soon. You go all the way down there, and it's really cool. You have your own little vault, not Vart, and I'll actually show you that right now. So basically, step 1, you place your key, and you're given a key. Here's mine right there, and you use it to access your bank account. So your bank account's like an ender chest, but with a little bit more room. And I don't know whose this is. I don't know why it's here. Oh, it's Berlin's. Should I send it back? Or, I mean, there's some nice stuff in there. I'd hate for that stuff to get lost. I think we're going to. Hopefully that's okay, Berlin. And now we have to travel all the way back up because the translocation piston elevator does no longer work. So until we get a better situation or a better alternative, the ladder is what we're using apparently. I actually didn't notice that was even there. I haven't used it much. This is Dano's bookshop. Nice little pixel art on top. I'm normally not a fan of pixel art, but I really like what Dano did with it. And he actually has some really cheap books. I believe these are 2 diamonds, and these are all 1 diamonds. 1 diamond, not 1 diamonds. But yeah, really cheap books, easy to get. A lot of great books that he fished out. This is Le Café Duke, and sort of like my little French cafe that I built. Obviously, it doesn't look French. It's sandstone, but I like it. I've got a lot of comments on it as well, and I don't really want those torches. Oh, jeez. Wow. Way to go, Duke. You're ruining everything. Don't really want the torches there. Going to have to change that out in the near future. But it was a very nice little build. I got lots of comments on the exterior here. A nice little patio that sits in the park. And I really like how it turned out, so I hope you guys do as well. Moving on, we have the post office built by Dragonfrost, and this is the reason we see mailboxes all over spawn at everyone's spawn house. So, basically, if you have something for the mail, outgoing mail here, and then there's a little sort of tutorial there, and then everybody has their own little P.O. box up here. I don't really know whose is whose, but I guess you're supposed to. This is the wood pineapple built by Night Fox, and it supplies everybody's wood. Yeah. So, I mean, I think there's stock. Okay, there's a little bit of stock. Gets bought out a lot. I mean, I think this shop has had more sales than any other shop on the server, so that's really cool to see. Alright, so next up is the BBC, and no, not the BBC you're thinking of. This is the Blonde Skunk Building Corporation? Company? Corporation? Company. It's company. Okay, so there are 2 builds here, and they both supply their own things. First of all is Blonde Skunk's Building Company itself, which you can actually order Blonde Skunk himself to go build, landscape, demolish, design, or plan for you so you don't have to do it yourself. I think I've actually taken that up in my spawn house. Really cool thing there. And the BBC building blocks. So, returning soon. Apparently, they're currently... Oh, I guess they have a little bit of stock. But for the most part, this is just a whole bunch of random building blocks, and he's actually sort of been bought out recently, so nothing being sold there currently, but hopefully in the near future. So next is the subway station, built by me, and indeed, lots of diorites. So as we come on down, we can see it all in its full glory. Pretty much, there's actually a few things I plan on doing. So yeah, this is the subway system. I'm gonna have different minecart tracks that extend to everyone's different base. I have four tracks that extend in the southern direction, with only one down here that faces north. But the north one's going to extend to Pickles and Cheese, and that's a village, which I'll show you later. And that's going to have its own little station, have multiple different pathways, multiple different tracks going every different opposite way. So we have like nice murals. Oh my god, I called it a mural. Mural on the wall. We have nice little seating arrangements. There's actually going to be like pictures and paintings up on the walls eventually, but currently those are not able to be there because the entities do not show up in these chunks. I don't know why, but that's just how it is. And here's where you grab your minecart. We have some, I swear. But I'm going to have, a lot of projects still involved with this, because even though this station's done, there's a lot of tunneling to be done. Alright, so next up is the radio station. I actually really like this build. It was one of the first builds I had, and I think we built it early on episode in the 20s maybe. Maybe it's still the teens. I'm not entirely sure. But it's going to serve a lot of purpose eventually. It's not completely done. That's why these are visible. But in here is where the Afterlife recap will be. And upstairs, if we can go up there without lagging too much. I don't know why we're lagging, but that's just my computer. Here is where the Who Is location will be. Still getting worked out though. So this is sort of where the Afterlife hub channel sort of has a purpose. Currently, it does not do anything, but eventually anything that you want to do for the Afterlife hub channel will be done in here. Moving on, we have White's mending shop called Mend It, and he sold mending books for 1 diamond block, as you can see, or 9 diamonds. Someone's actually bought one recently. That's kind of cool. Over across the street, we have Frolicking Flowers, built by Hutchie, and he sells all sorts of flowers along with leaves. Maybe cactus? No, he sells flower pots. Those are cool. He was going to sell cactus, but I don't think he does anymore. Over here we have Michael's Wool Emporium. Michael, aka Night Fox, built this, and he's selling all types of wool. However, there's a lot of wool that's normally pretty sold out, so definitely gets used a lot. Over here we have White's one-stop glass shop with all the different types of glass you'll ever need. I really like this build. I like how he incorporated all the brick. It looks pretty good. Over here, we have a Skunkerton build. Obviously, Mr. Blonde Skunk built this. But this is Jack's Chicken Shack. Dragon Frost design, but had to be renovated as PETA, a.k.a. Gaming Because was like, nope, that is not big enough and does not look nice enough. It must no longer be a chicken shack. So it turned into this amazing, beautiful build. Over here, we have... Let's see, what is this? I know it, but I know it's Daniel's. The High Elven Tool Weapon and Armor Forge. So if you come on down here, he sells all sorts of armor and tools in the diamond variation. And I believe, oh man, what happened to those? There used to be, something happened here. He used to sell, that's interesting. And bows as well, but there used to be item frames there with what they were selling. Either way, really great prices, and I've definitely bought from here, and I plan on doing so in the future as well. If we kind of come up on over here, we have White's Wondrous Food Court, and he has all sorts of food, many more than just Jack's Chicken Shack does. So if there's some food in particular that you want, you can definitely find it there. Over here, we have Crash's new fireworks shop, and he's going to be selling fireworks in the near future. I don't think this is entirely done. Actually, he does have a lot of fireworks, so maybe it is. I don't know, but that is implemented because in 1.11.1, you can use your elytra and fly up using fireworks rockets, so that's why he's selling them here. We do have Mr. Hutchie building something here, and I will go on into that in just a bit. So, if we continuously move on down this pathway, we'll hit more of Crash's builds, including the witch hut, in which he sells stuff you'd get from a witch's hut, or witches themselves, which he gets from the witch farm. Really cool build. It's supposed to look sort of beat up and run down. I think he accomplished that with the giant hole in the wall there. That's actually on purpose, and it actually looks really good, so that's really cool. And then we have the Crash's slime shop. Really like it. It looks like a little slime, and it's like in a little cage or something. Really, really cool, and very good prices. $1 diamond per stack, good price. Moving on, we have the end shop built by myself. Actually need to take the sign down because it's not just now open. It's been open for like a month. This is my end shop. We sell end stone, we sell purple blocks, and end rods. It's made an okay profit. I doubt, yep, no payment there. But that's just because nobody needs any at the time being. Next up is the community chest. The community chest was built by Dragonfrost over near Pickles and Cheese, but I helped him move it over here because, well, I felt like it deserved a spot over here. And anyone who wants to donate whatever and come pick up whatever. It's basically a giant junk drawer. If you find something you want, you can take it. But if you have something you don't want, like my torch and my gunpowder, I can put it in there so other people can get it if they so desire. Oh, a lot more to go. But not really, because we're actually almost done. Just a few more builds in the commercial district. So this is Daniel's Ye Old Abandoned Fishing Shack. Really, really like this. I think it looks really cool. Very run down, but actually works out very well. So you can get all sorts of stuff that you'd get from fishing. And I think it's made a decent profit. I've bought a lot of name tags. That's a great deal. And I've bought some saddles as well. Next up, we have Berlin's Redstone Shop. Berlin's Redstone Shop was built by Berlin, obviously, just recently. And he sells all sorts of redstone stuff. Whether it's hoppers, don't know what's in there, nothing apparently, and redstone blocks. And then he has an order system, just like Mr. Blomskunk does as well for building. Berlin has it for redstone. And careful not to miss it, Shovel Co., the smallest shop on the server, built by Mr. Hutchie. You can get any sort of clearing and shoveling job you need, and I plan on actually needing that in the near future. But yeah. Can't really spoil that yet because this is a world tour and it's all about touring what we have built now. So coming down here, you can see what I've done with landscaping, and I decided this landscaping would work. When I built the end shop, I realized it needed to be landscaped a little bit more, so I did my job in bringing it out. I also brought it out over here, giving a perfect place for the community chest, and I really like how it looks. Got a lot of comments on that, and I'm pleased. As you can see, there are some cobblestone laid out, and that's just where pathways are going to go. That's not a build. It's not permanent, just very, very temporary. But will look good eventually. So, coming on in here, this is what I built last episode. This is the Shrine to Jesus, and that means All Out J. Our Lord and Savior, All Out J, the leader, the owner of the server. Really like how it turned out. It's very nice, and I've got some pretty good feedback on it. Thank you guys for that, by the way. And yeah, you just come on in here, have something you want to donate to Jay, and you throw it on in there, and it gets stored in a chest. Yeah, pretty darn cool, I think. But yeah, that about wraps it up for the commercial district, except for the one final build, the courthouse, built by Mr. Blomskunk. Really, really hyped for this to be used, but the courthouse was built, actually, I think it's one of the most recent completions on the server. Either way, this thing is massive. I mean, this is insane. Just look how big it is. Perfect. Perfect for a thumbnail, that's for sure. But yeah, really like how this build turned out, and we will definitely get some use, because the courthouse is where we're going to settle all of our little legal disputes that we have. As you can see, a very nice interior as well. And I very much so am hyped. We'll have, oh geez, we're getting shot at. Okay, apparently Skunkers didn't light it up well enough, because Oh, okay. Yeah, you lose. So yeah, everybody sits out here. Then we have, you know, the defendant and the prosecutor in them, and then we got the judge sitting up here. I don't know much about trials or the court systems or anything, so sorry for my lack of knowledge there. But a very, very large, gorgeous build, and something that Skunk has continued to provide for the servers. So one more thing, and that is the spawn island. Alright guys, so we're actually atop of Jay's giant spawn island right now, and you can probably not tell because currently it is mostly just a giant stone structure, but there's a lot coming from this, guys. It's huge. It's absolutely going to be insane once the town hall is placed up here, and this has really been Jay's main project this season so far. Either way, I'm really excited to see this take shape, and it gives us some glorious views if my world would like to join in. Yeah, look at this. You can sit up here and pretty much see the entire commercial district. Really, really cool. I'm actually, come on, load in, please. But that leaves us with the fact that this is the end of part 1 of the world tour. I will have this part of the world tour being the main spawn, and then the next episode will be builds outside of spawn, whether that's players' bases or something like it. But guys, I've been waiting for this for a while. We're at 49 deaths. Let's make it 50. Actually, I want to see if I doubt I'll survive, but I really want to just see what happens. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Whoosh. Oh God. Oh, what? There we go. Perfect. We did. Sweet. Episode number 50. Oh geez. Oh geez. What is going on here? All right. Well, I guess that'll be where I wrap up today's episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed episode 1, actually episode 50, but part 1 of the world tour. If you did, please be sure to leave a like and comment down below telling me what you did enjoy about today's episode. And I hope you guys are hyped for what's next. And if you're new to the channel or the series, be sure to subscribe. This has been Duke, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.